It's been 40 years of answering dumb questions about my dad, so you guys get a free pass today. But no, honestly, to talk about San Francisco first, just a great win. I was really concerned with all the elements of that game. We played Saturday. We gave them a lot of the day off on Sunday, walked through a bunch of stuff, didn't practice, and then had a flight that night, got a little bit delayed, playing in Vegas. There was just a lot of reasons why we could have justified not winning it. They had 5 days to prepare. They were ready to go. We showed great grit and toughness throughout that game. And so fortunate to beat a team that I believe will be in the top 3 of that league. I don't know the league great, but obviously Gonzaga and St. Mary's always seem to be 1 and 2. But I don't see why a team like that with returners from an NCAA tournament team won't win a lot of games. So really excited about this opportunity coming up on Sunday. We've got. We got back to work yesterday and just worked on getting better, worked on preparing for Iona. Yes, it's an interesting storyline, me versus my dad, but if you were at our practice, if you were at our film sessions, you wouldn't know who the coach of the opposing team was. It's business as usual for us. Iona is a terrific team. Blew out St. Louis, had a really good win versus Princeton. Scheduled like us in a lot of ways where they wanted to schedule teams who they felt like would be at the top of their conference, whether it's Vermont, Princeton. They went and played a neutral site game with Santa Clara. So you got a team in us that's in the mid-20s in the net. They're in the mid-30s in the net as well. So hopefully a sellout crowd. We were proud of what our team, our fans, our administration was able to do with New Mexico State, and then obviously that was taken away from us with things out of our control. So let's go take advantage of Sunday and make it a fun one.
I know most of this is going to be about Sunday. Can I put one question out there to sort of put a bow on San Francisco? The way their bigs took Morris out early, is that sort of a blueprint, or is that just – it's not a lot of teams that are going to have 272 guys, so blueprint's easy to say, but did they do something that you think other teams are going to replicate to try and take Morris out of this game?
I think they had the size to do it. Their personnel was built for that. They were prepared for it. You could tell they scouted it very, very well. I just don't think a lot of teams have that size, but it was a good learning lesson for us. But when they got 5 days off and you got 1, you have to make a choice as a coach. How much are you gonna, make them be on their feet and all those things? So we adjusted better as the game went on, but they're really built for that.
When you put that aside, that it's your dad on the other bench, when does that go away?
It's never really been a thing unless I talk to the media, and that's not a disrespect to you guys. I understand it's a storyline. It's got nothing to do with the game. It really doesn't. Now, I scheduled it because I wanted the exposure for our program as we rebuild it. Obviously, we got a nationally televised game. I wanted I wanted a couple of opportunities in the non-conference besides your traditional games that get our fans excited. New Mexico State was going to be that. Iona was going to be that. So we've done that. The father-son thing is nothing to do with my approach to the game at all.
He said, I think just 2 days ago, that he knows you guys are going to be really good. He knows New Mexico's really good, and he knows that because you scheduled this game. He says you never used to call him to schedule games.
Well, he was the head coach of Louisville, winning a national title, and I'm struggling to get my brains beat in at Minnesota. So I'm somewhat intelligent. No, honestly, it more was they were going out to Hawaii, and he had mentioned to me that he was looking for a game to play out there. I didn't know at the time. I wasn't sure about our team. I felt better about our team with what we added and so on. So it really wasn't that. As I've said before, and I know it's boring, I don't care about beating my dad. I really don't. I've told all of my players this, it's never going to be about me. we've put ourselves in a position after 10 games to maybe do something special. So I'm not going to make it about me versus my dad. And again, like, if I were to beat my dad, like, the guy's one of the best coaches in the history of college basketball. I've been fired before 40 years old. Like, probably not going in the Hall of Fame, and I'm okay with that. So I've never been one of those guys that's trying to live up to him. And I've told Jalen House this, and I've told Jamal Mashburn this. Like, be confident in yourself and comfortable in yourself. So it's got nothing to really do with that. I didn't schedule it because I thought I could beat him. But no, I scheduled it because I thought we could get a great crowd and we could potentially get a nationally televised game, and we've been able to do both.
What have conversations been with him this week? I mean, is there trash talk? Is it just normal father-son stuff?
We have a group chat that is the dumbest group chat ever. It's my dad, brothers, sister, my cousin, and a good family friend from Louisville. And it's the dumbest text chain you've ever seen in your life. So no, it hasn't been trash talking or anything like that. And then just logistically talking about tickets and kind of, they're going to come in Friday night. So what we're going to do is a family Saturday and so on. So no, sorry, but not much fun trash talking.
But you will see him. He'll come see the grandkids and stuff.
Yeah, as he should.
I'm sure he's coming in pretty hot with all the gifts and stuff, so he's going to buy your kids love. So who do the kids root for? They root for Dad Lobos?
Well, so the other day he played Travis Ford, and he gave Travis Ford like a brand new Rolex right before the game. And I said, why are you doing that? He's like, he helped me get to a Final Four. So I said, well, I was associate head coach when you went to a Final Four, so I can't wait for my brand new watch. So I'm not going to wear my Apple Watch, and I'll just be able to take the watch and put it on right before the game. Who are the grandkids rooting for? Oh, well, obviously you've seen my psycho son, Jack. He will be rooting for the Lobos. I don't know about the other cousins and so on. I tried to tell him what we should do is everybody root for the Lobos at the Pit and everybody root for Iona in New York. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not, and nor do I care. All I care about is that the Lobos find a way to get a win.
Coach, you mentioned the crowd. This is one of the biggest anticipated games of the year. You guys have been having a great season. Of course, obviously the tragedy with New Mexico State. But what do you anticipate crowd-wise this weekend? I saw ticket sales are going through the roof already.
It's why I played the game. I have endured the media asking me all types of creative questions over all week just for our fans. So I have sacrificed for our fans. But no, I mean, it's great exposure. Yesterday I did 2 radio shows. I did Jeff Goodman's thing at night. So there's national exposure that goes into it. But it's also, when I took the job, I was concerned, as everybody is, when you're down and you're coming out of a pandemic, of bringing the fans back. So that's why I did it. And it's certainly proven to be something that the community is excited about. I was dropping my kids off at school today and some parent yelled, "Kick your dad's ass." I was like, in front of the kids.
They're talking to you or Jack?
Yeah, probably both. Yeah. But they're excited about it, and that's great. So it should be a great crowd. I hope it's a sellout. I know there's new metal detectors and all that, so they've talked about getting there a little bit earlier. So it'll be fun for our community for sure. And more importantly than anything, it's a great win opportunity for both teams.
I know you said you've dealt with all the questions and creative ways. We try and ask you different ways about your dad so we can try and get you to answer it differently. How about this one? What's the either dumbest or maybe most notable question you've been asked through the years about being, Rick's son?
Oh, there's so many dumb questions. No, I mean, honestly, I try to be respectful. I grew up, he was the head coach of Kentucky. So my goodness. So I'm used to it. And, 99.9% of the time, it's very nice, friendly people. And you get the 1% that says something dumb and you just got to deal with it because it comes with the territory. So there's no one specific thing. And I'm joking about the media. I mean, you guys have been good. And, it's just any exposure that we can get for our program, I'm happy to do it because we need that to build this thing.
Well, and I know you've said this before. I think from introductory press conference and even to last night on the field of 68, I heard you say the same thing. Like, you and your dad aren't the same person, and I think people just assume you're the little Rick Pitino, and but you guys are very different people.
Yeah, well, we're 30 years age-wise, so normally a 40-year-old's different than a 70-year-old, so that's just the natural part of it. But yeah, we're just different. I mean, he was raised differently than I was. Obviously, I was raised great, very grateful for my mom and dad. Everybody talks about my dad. My mom's been an awesome mother as well. So everybody's different. Everybody's unique. So it's like I've said before. I mean, the best thing that I did was I was a coach for my dad for 2 years, and it was great. We went to 2 Elite Eights, won the league. Best thing I ever did was go work for Billy Donovan. Not that I haven't learned a lot from my dad. I have. He's, as I said yesterday, I think he's a top 3 coach of all time. But to go work for Billy and see a guy who was his, played for him, coached for him, I thought I would see the exact same thing, and I didn't. And that taught me at a young age, like, do what you're comfortable with doing. Doesn't mean that one way is better than the other. There's a million different ways to skin a cat. So that was probably a formative decision in my life, that I could just be who I want to be. Doesn't mean what he is bad or what Billy is better, but just be yourself. And so that's what I've always kind of done.
How do you think your dad and your coaching styles kind of differ on that front?
He's more defensive-minded, pressure, deflections, block shots, offensive rebounds. I'm probably a little bit different there. Even just his disposition on the sideline, mine is different. I'm probably not as animated. And part of that, again, is I'm just trying to think. And I can't be as animated as him and think. He can. That's why he's one of the best coaches of all time. There's a lot of similarities of the foundation of our program as it pertains to skill development. There's nobody better at individual instruction, and we try to make that a cornerstone of our program as well. So the way that he deals with his staff, nobody's more generous, and nobody's more creates more of a family environment than him. So there's a lot I've taken from it. Now, on game day, you may not see the same, for sure.
Coach, I know you know the guys you coach against and maybe what their tendencies are, but do you have a little more insight into what he may do during the game?
It's not as much of a chess match as everybody thinks during the game. There's adjustments that you're going to make for sure. I know the way he coaches. I don't know if that really matters to the preparation of the game. The biggest thing I can tell our players is I know what's important to him. So just understand that when you're going against him, every team has core beliefs, foundational beliefs that you're going to see. So I know that. But other than that, I don't know if there's a whole lot of an advantage on either side. So we watch the film, they watch the film, we put together our game plan, they do the same, you go from there.
How do you make sure that you tend to know? I mean, how do you make sure that you guys aren't kind of reading the press clippings and perhaps lose focus of what the ultimate goal is?
That's the daily struggle every day. And these guys have been good. Like, I don't think we necessarily played great versus San Fran, but we played with an unbelievable will to win. So I think these guys understand. They've done a lot of great things early. But that's the beauty of being a coach, is you just remind them every single day that all this attention and all the enthusiasm can go away like that. And it's going to happen. We're not going to win every game, and you're going to have to respond. So we try very hard not to make it about winning games. We try very hard to make it about being a winner every day. And we don't really try to make it about the result. We just try to get better every single day. So you give them examples as much as you possibly can.
What's kind of your scouting report of Iona?
Well, we haven't played anybody that presses like them. So when you score a basket, or they score a basket, they're going to pick you up full court, and they're going to try to speed you up, and they're going to try to turn you over. Dennis Jenkins is a terrific guard, really like him a lot. Walter Clayton's really good, like him a lot. Nelly Jr. Joseph, a big kid's very similar to Mo in a lot of ways. Might have been player of the year in the MAC last year. So if you just take a step back from the father-son thing, you look at a program that last year won the league, got upset in the conference tournament, made the NIT. The year before they win the league, they go to the NCAA tournament. They had Alabama on the ropes. So this is a team that wins. Obviously, my dad always wins anywhere he goes, but this is a program with really good tradition. So we've got to play under control. We've got to play with really good discipline because they're great at imposing their will and getting you to not do that. That's what my father's teams have done for 30 years.
You know, your dad coached Jamal's father. You brought him here from Minnesota. I mean, could you envision your life without a Mashburn in it? And what's that relationship like between the Patinos and the Mashburns?
Well, a lot of my life has been without a Mashburn in it, so my life has been better since Jamal Mashburn Jr. has joined it. We are Mash Senior's amazing. And a lot of our parents on this team are great. They really are, and that can wear a coach down as well. We all see it. I go to my kids' games, and I look over at my wife, and I'm like, oh my God, you're one of those parents? So MASH Senior's not like that, which is awesome. When I got fired at Minnesota, that was hard. It's always hard when that stuff happens. But there was some validation there when MASH Senior calls me and says, you just tell me where you're going, and we'll be there. And that obviously is that's loyalty that was built for many, many years before me with my father. So he changed Kentucky's program. Every coach needs that one or two recruits at the beginning of the process. Jamal Mashburn Sr. was that. And, we talk a lot about House and Josiah and Morris, but to be able to bring an all-conference guard and not only a great player in MASH, but just an unbelievable culture guy has absolutely expedited the process.
I assume Jack is already recruiting the future Mashburn, whenever that might be.
Absolutely. I'm sure he will.
One more hard-hitting one, but since it was asked again at your introductory presser, do you have any idea if you guys are going to try and match suits or anything like that?
Oh, no. My goal is to win enough, to get enough power to have every coach that wears a suit on the sidelines be fired and never allowed to coach again. Because I text them all the time, stop wearing suits. We're all comfortable. You're ruining it for all of us.
He's one of the only ones still doing it, really.
It's a lot of his tree, too. Kevin Willard does it. Mick Cronin's doing it. My dad's doing it. I have a list in my office of all the coaches. I fight him on that. I keep telling him, stop wearing suits. I'm going to tell Snake to get after you if you're wearing a suit. I am team quarter zip, and I am not going back. So I don't know what he's going to wear. I haven't asked him yet. But I will be wearing a cherry quarter zip to go along, and I will be very comfortable.
I know we talked about the Mountain West. There's 3 undefeated teams still in this conference, which could tell you about scheduling or maybe just the quality of the league. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 3 of the 7, right? Is there still 7 undefeated? That's amazing. I think UNLV and us are somewhat similar where Kevin's in his second year, I'm in my second year, and we got a little bit more comfortable with our roster. Utah State's had more sustained success for sure. All 3 are really good. You can never, ever ignore San Diego State. They've been the class of the league. You got to give them credit. Boise State is an under-the-radar, really good team. Leon does an amazing job, and they obviously won the league last year. Wyoming is a team. They're going to get healthy. Colorado State is going to get healthy. So you're looking at, Tim Miles is doing a great job of building that program. You're looking at about 80% of the league could potentially be in some type of postseason play. That's great. It's great for everybody. So it's been a fun basketball league to be a part of. The coaches are great. The players are really good. Fan bases are awesome. So it's the key to getting multiple teams in the NCAA tournament is to have your league have a great non-conference, and we've had that.